Everybody wants to be, but nobody wants to do. Girl, it's time to be real, raw, and relentless. Everybody wants to be, but nobody wants to do. You know it's time.
Recrown you.
Today's episode is sponsored by Respect the No. It is a lifestyle brand geared against sexual assault. We know them, we are them, and we stand with them. For an exclusive 10% off your entire order, use code RESPECTME. Visit www.trulyinspiredlifestyle.com. Enjoy the show. What's up, guys? It's your girl, Truly Inspired Martin, and welcome to another episode of Recrown You, baby, the podcast. We are here for the women who are ready to be real, raw, and relentless in their pursuit to unleash their inner badass. So what exactly does that mean for you? That means that you're about to take a journey down a road that you probably don't know what the hell is on it, right? You don't know what we're going to talk about. You don't know what layers this might peel back for you, but you say you're going to do it anyway. Because the woman that is ready to really unleash who she is and who she's supposed to be goes at it even with fear in her heart. So this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. And y'all know I've been real excited about this month because these are the conversations that we need to start. And it starts with us. But what we also forget is the men need us too, right? So this segment that I got going on for this whole entire week is about our men. Our men, meaning all the men, right? The men that go through these things with mental health in so many different facets, and we just kind of sweep it under the rug because we expect the men to be the champion of the household. We expect them to keep their shit together, right? Let's keep it 100. But that's not the only way we can look at this. We have to give them their opportunity to be vulnerable too. Their opportunity to share and communicate the things that bother them so that we can build the strongest households and foundations as possible, right? So they need us to, this segment is highlighting men and their struggles with mental health in all these different areas of their lives to help women like us understand them better so that we can live better lives with our men, right? So I hope this helps a whole lot of people because, honey, these men are throwing themselves on the sword and they are giving you the tea. So hope you sip it, okay? So let's get into a little bit. Y'all know I love me some stats in the whole nine. So here's an interesting stat. The study of more than 1,000 men and women of around the ages 18 to 25 shows that a broken heart hurts men more than women. Whew, I know that just hit somebody in the gut, okay? Because we're the ones who are normally listening to the sad songs from Casey and JoJo. Give me a bottle of wine. Let me go out with my girls. Get busy. Let me cry myself to sleep. Can't eat, can't sleep, can't do nothing, okay? We're normally the ones that go through that, but we don't even understand, nor do we see what men go through in the background. Because they don't show all that. They don't want us to see that they are broken from this. But then you look at the overall picture. You're mad that he acts a certain way. He does certain things. There's certain mannerisms. He's real insecure about certain things. He's holding back a little bit because he's been hurt too. And he just does not know how to move when it comes to the next one. Because sometimes they haven't dealt with their hurt either. So statistics say that men hurt more. I know somebody mad about that stat right now, but listen, it is what it is. And we're getting into that today. So here's a quote for you. A broken heart is just the growing pains necessary so that you can love more completely when the real thing comes along. That's a quote from J.S.B. Morse. And I love that. Like, your broken heart is a part of the growing pains, and it's necessary so that you can love more completely when the real thing comes along. Okay, so I got to introduce to you someone that is very, very dope. Okay, he's from Jersey. Y'all know I stay putting the Jersey folks on the mic because I love y'all. Because I mean that's where I'm from, right? So can't knock it if I wanted to. But not only is he from Jersey, he is my grindation brother. Shout out to Kendall Ficklin over there at the G. And if you don't know about that, y'all need to go online and go check out Grindation, Grind and Growth, okay? With Kendall Ficklin. Shameless plug, best coach ever. But this man right here is Brad Butler the second, okay? He's in Central Jersey. Today's episode is called Painful Purpose. Whew. If that ain't do something to you, I don't know what will. He is a motivational speaker, author, and an athlete. Okay? So he's going to be talking about the man side of a heartbreak and how us as women should seek a man with purpose. Okay? So let me not even hold y'all up no more. I got to bring the man to the mic. Okay? So Brad, y'all ready? You ready to drop this heat?
Oh man, about ready as I'm gonna be.
Hey, my Jersey folks, stay ready. So let's jump into this, okay? So tell us about Brad. Tell us about you.
Oh man, it's funny because when people ask that question, you 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 tend to hear a bunch of people. They just kind of go on a tangent talking about themselves about I'm
Mm-hmm.
this, I'm that, blah blah blah. And the funny thing is, I really think that I'm just a simple guy. Like, I feel like I'm a simple guy. I always believed that I was a jack of all trades and a master of none until I realized what my gift was. So I'm literally just a guy going through life, doing the best that I can to be the best version of myself in every aspect of my life.
Ooh, I love it. And you're right. We be wanting to put all our accolades on the table because they think that that's what makes them them, right? But that's not even what it breaks down to. Brad said he's a simple guy. I know that's right. So you said that we getting into painful purpose today. So relationships. What did it do for you mentally? Talk me through the man's heartbreak.
Well, the first significant heartbreak that I ever had was when I just graduated from high school. I was with my high school sweetheart. We'd been together for, I want to say, about 3 to 4 years, something like that. And my senior year in high school, my father had a brain aneurysm. So I was dealing with um, the changes in the household as far as me becoming the man of the house now, uh, with me working and also going to school because I decided that I was going to go to college right after high school. So as soon as I actually graduated from high school, that summer I was taking college courses at Mercer County Community College because I felt like I was so far behind everybody else because I was a special ed kid. So I felt like I was so far behind everybody else that I wanted to try to, put my best foot forward and try to, get out there and make it happen as best I possibly could. So while I'm struggling with being a full time student, working, and I all of a sudden get a phone call one day from my then girlfriend who told me that she thought it would be best for our relationship to end. And what bothered me the most about it was that she didn't have a legitimate reason. She didn't have something where she could kind of stand on and say, well, you did this or you did that or you're not growing or, whatever the case may be. It literally was just, I think that this should be the end of the relationship. And then I was kind of just left with that. And I believe that when you have closure, when you understand why something comes to an end, it makes it a lot easier for you to deal with it. But when you don't have closure, when you don't understand why, you question yourself. So I went through every thought possible. Is it because I'm not tall enough? Is it because I'm not big enough? Is it I'm not strong enough? I don't look good enough? Is my, you know, I don't know. Like, what is it? I was like, I couldn't, is it because I don't have enough money? Like,
Mm.
I didn't know what it was. I was just poking holes in every aspect of myself. Um, And it's funny because I wrote about this in my book because I felt that it was so important that other people needed to know about it. And I constantly questioned myself. I just thought I wasn't good enough for anyone at that point. So even when women would show attention to me, I didn't believe them. They would say, "Oh man, you're cute. You're so nice. Like you're like I would really, I've literally had women shooting their shot at me, and I'm just blocking them like Makembe Batumbo because I don't believe you. Like my
Right.
heart wasn't open to just to believe someone when they were being genuine. I literally had females sit me down and say, "Listen, Brad, like I think you're a nice guy, and I really want to talk to you, and this and that." And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like my
Right.
heart, I couldn't just. It was like trying to drive a car through mud, or
Mm.
it just it's not meant to be there. Like so, it just wasn't a clear path for someone to make it to my heart. So even when I did ultimately end up getting in a relationship, it was like I got in the relationship after my heartbreak because I found out that my ex girlfriend had gotten into a relationship, and it was like, oh well, you're not going to
Right.
outdo me.
Right. That ain't going down.
Yeah,
Yep.
like, you're not about to outdo me. You're not about to be skipping through these streets all happy. You know what I mean? And I ain't got no money. So it was just like it was like torture because you're constantly questioning everything that people are saying and doing. And then when I did get into the relationship, it was like I was in the relationship, but I wasn't in the relationship because
Mm.
I could care less what she did or who she was with or what was going on. And she was all in on me. She was, oh man, he's great. Like this, I think he's a good person. Da, da, da. He cares about his family. You know, and I remember distinctly when I realized afterwards, I was like, yo, maybe I don't need to be in a relationship. Like, this is not good. We were having a conversation, and she was basically saying something that that she like would have liked me to do. Nothing crazy, but just like, hey, could you do such and such or whatever? And I remember the first thing that came out of my mouth was, no, go ask some other guy to do it.
Ooh.
And then she was like, "What?" She's like, but you're my boyfriend. Like, like, wouldn't you want to do that or whatever?" I'm like, listen, I don't care about none of that. Like, if you want to get some other guy to do it, that's cool with me. But like, I'm like, I really don't care. I like, but I'm not doing it. So, like, I'm like, when I think about the guy that I was before and who I am now, like, I didn't like myself. I would not like myself right now.
You was cold blooded.
I was very cold blooded. I was very heartless. I literally had ice water in my veins.
Mm.
Um, because it was like emotionally I was not connected. I just couldn't do it. Like my heart was just it was shot. So after that, I realized it later on that what I said was so heartless. Like she was like almost in tears, and I was like, oh man, I was like, that's not me. That's not who I am. I'm my mother's son. Like I wear my heart on my sleeve. Like I'm passionate. That's part of the reason why people book me to speak, because when I speak, it's transparent. Like I can't fake it. I've never been able to fake it when I was on stage. So like when I'm telling you about how I really feel, it just comes out, good, bad, or indifferent. So I was like, man, something's not right with me. Like I gotta figure something out, and it's crazy. It's extremely important to have a male figure in your life, because I remember going to the store with my father one day to get some food for my grandparents, and as we were going, I was paying for the food, and I was just in a funk. My mom would always try to console me and say she would be there for me and talk to me anytime she wanted to talk to me, which was great. My sister told me I was, basically need to get over it, and that she was probably out there, talking to other guys, and I need to, get it together. And my father never really spoke at all, ever. Never
Mm.
said anything about it until that one day when we went to the store. So we going through the drive-through, and I'm grabbing the food, and right before we pull off, my father was like, "Listen, I know that you're all heartbroken and stuff about this situation with your ex, but I'm gonna need you to go ahead and snap out of it."
Mm.
And literally, that was the only conversation that we ever had about it, and that was basically all I needed. After that, every day got better. Every day got better. It was like I needed a man to tell me, "You're not being a man. You're walking around here like a little boy."
Mm.
Like And it was different because I understood the role that I played in my household and how important it was for me to be on top of everything. So it was literally like, Brad, okay, your grades is about to start slipping. Like you're not even playing football. Like you like you're not really doing your thing at work like you normally do. You sleeping all day whenever you got a day off or whatever. Like you're not hanging with your friends. You're not doing nothing. Like you're not my son. Like you're not the son that I raised. Like, and you can't tell me that just because you're going through some adversity with a female that it changes you completely for the rest of your life. Like you have to get over this and get back to the person that you were and find the love and joy that you had in your heart before. And once that happened, I realized that had completely changed. I wasn't the person that I was. I literally let somebody assassinate my character. All because of the fact that they didn't see the value in me. And we do that in all aspects of our life. You think that you shouldn't ask for the promotion, or you shouldn't ask this person out on a date, or you shouldn't try to get that starting spot on a football team, basketball team, whatever the case may be, because somebody else has devalued you. Like that doesn't make sense. That's just like when somebody balls up or rips up $100 bill, it's still $100 bill. It still holds the same value. But because somebody came to you with $100 bill and balled it up and threw it on the floor and told you that it was 10 cents, you believed it.
That's deep, because that's the emotional side that you have to deal with, right? And the mental, like there's a lot of stuff that go there. Do you think that contributes sometimes to the way these men be snapping on these chicks sometimes, where they really don't want to put their all into nothing? Like
Absolutely. Well, you know that men and women, we think differently.
Yep.
It's just a fact. Men, we think logically, and women tend to think more of emotionally. They have emotions attached to the decisions that they make. Whereas men, it's like, oh, okay, all right, I'm gonna buy this car. Does it have, X amount of horsepower, gas mileage, whatever the case may be, blah blah. All right, cool. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get that. How much does it cost? It fits my budget, blah blah. All right, I'm gonna get that. Wherein some women, when they make purchases, there was actually a statistic that was out there that was saying that most women, and I don't know if it's outdated by now because it most likely is, that most women purchase a car based on how many cup holders it has in the front.
Wait, what? I've never heard that one.
Right. So it was like, okay, they were a mom and they were purchasing the car and they had multiple kids. They needed more cup holders because they didn't have enough room for all the kids to put their cups and stuff in there. So it was more that went into it, but it was like, you got to dig a little deeper. So what I've noticed is whenever there's heartbreak involved, like pain and suffering, that's when you notice that those two, the men and women, that their emotions switch. So anytime you hear about a man being on the 12 o'clock news because of some emotional heartbreak, rage-filled attempt to do whatever, it's because the man went from thinking logically to thinking emotionally. Because we tend to hold in our emotions and not let it out. So when we get to the breaking point where we can no longer hold our emotions inside anymore and it comes out as pure rage. So when it comes out and when you see the guy at the club, he done busted up in there with his with the robe on and his footies on with his do-rag on sideways and his eyes are bloodshot because he ain't been to sleep in 2 weeks because he been trying to figure out where this chick at, and she just left him and he up in there with a baseball bat in his hand like, well, where's she at? I heard she was in this club. I've been stalking her for 2 weeks. I know she up in here. Like that is an irrational thing. It's not logical to do anything like that.
Was that you?
No, not at all.
That was very detailed. Just go ahead.
Yeah, very detailed because I've seen it. Because I've seen it before. It's like, oh man, he in love. He in love. Like,
love.
Like
Yeah.
And then when you hear about the female who has gotten to the point where she has egged your house and broke out your windows and flat your tires and all that stuff. And then, the cops are like, well, we don't really have any proof that she did it because she logically planned out this assault on your life. It wasn't something where she just did it on a whim, where it was just emotion attached. If she gets to the point where it's a pure rage, where there's rage involved, when violence is coming, oh, she planned that out. Because women never want to be seen in that light. They don't want to be seen like that. They're like, yo, I'd rather just, for the most part, they'll go and be on they, to themselves, and they'll cry and get it out their system, hang with their girlfriends, and they'll go out and have brunch or whatever, and then they do their thing. They move on. They have their support system, and they get it out their system. They keep it pushing. But if they're not able to, to kind of deal with it and get it still lingering, and this nothing's working, whatever. Oh man, when that thing comes out, man, listen.
You know what that reminds me of? This Jasmine Sullivan song, Bust Your Windows.
Yeah.
Bust your windows out your car, and no, it didn't mend my broken heart. I'll probably always have these ugly scars, but right now I don't care about that part. That's
Right.
that emotional mental switch where you like, man, to hell with all this. This
Right.
is how I'm feeling. My emotions have taken over. There ain't no logic. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I'm brokenhearted right now, and no matter how far I go ahead in life, until I deal with my stuff, I'm always going to have these ugly scars.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're going to bring that trash into every other relationship, and it's just going to be real funky.
Yep.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
deep, man, deep. So, quick pivot. So, what is a man with purpose? Like, what does that mean to you?
Oh man, a man with purpose is a man who knows exactly what he wants out of life. He knows exactly the direction that he's trying to go in, and he is actively moving toward that. He has goals that he's trying to achieve. Like, it's not just whatever it is that he's doing within his life. It's not just about him. I heard was sorry, it was Dr. Eric Thomas. He said it a while back. He said, "The crazy thing about your dreams is that your dreams have absolutely nothing to do with you.
Mm.
It has to do with the impact that it leaves on other people." So everything that I do, once I realized what my purpose was in the beginning, I was like, "Oh wow, I'm gonna be a speaker, and it's gonna, I can build a career from this." And then later on down the line, I was like, "Brad, this has absolutely nothing to do with you." Like, things change. There's a shift when after I speak and I step off stage, and I got kids that are wanting my autograph or wanting to talk to me or
Yeah.
wanting my book or sending me emails, or I've had people call me and say that they were thinking about committing suicide. I was like, well, cool. We're going to sit on the phone and we're going to talk you through this, and then we'll get you the hotline, and that's one thing that I'm glad that I did. I just recently got my certification in youth mental health first aid.
Hey, we on the same track over here. I just got mental first aid trained as well.
There it is.
See?
There it is. And that thing good for 3 years.
Importante. Okay.
Right. And if we're dealing with kids, you got to have it.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, when you have a man who has no purpose, because I was there. I was that little boy in a man's body, walking around aimlessly, just going to work, not knowing what I was supposed to be doing with my life, not even knowing what I was gifted at. Just like, one of the worst feelings in the world is when you're actually good at just about anything that you touch. So you have no idea what you're great at. Like, everybody should have that. It should figure out what that one thing is that they are great at, and then just hone in on that and focus on it. When I figured out that, oh, Brad, you don't have stage fright. Like, you don't, like, someone had to actually explain that to me. I was like, what is stage fright? They was like, you don't have a problem, like, with being around a whole bunch of people and being on stage and speaking? I was like, no. I was like, ever since I was younger, I've danced in front of large groups of people. I've done sports in front of large groups of people. I've sung in front of large groups of people. Like, I have no problem when it comes to dealing with large groups of people. And I found out there's only 2% of the people in the world that are able to do that confidently. And once I figured that out, I was like, oh, the hard part is gone. I don't deal with that at all. So the easy part is going to be me just going out and getting the information that I need, and then doing the work to get to where I need to be.
And that's strong right there, right? Like, with the purpose piece. Like, I think that's something that a lot of us search for. We don't really understand it. We hear people say, go find your purpose. Do your purpose. Whatever your passion is that drives you, do that thing. But a lot of us are probably, or a lot of people rather, because I'm good over here finally, right?
Yeah, right.
And it is something about being empty of yourself and being selfless in what you do. And you realize that it's not about you, right? And you realize that those are those things that you do, you love to do, that come easy to you, right? And these are things that you just, it's that inner guidance. It's something in there. And I think that that is a whole topic to unpack by itself, right? Because a lot of men, even women, are probably sitting there like, I hear people talk about purpose all the time, but I don't understand it. And how do I tap into purpose? You know what I'm saying? Do you have maybe like one little gem of something that they can like tap into purpose? Like that man that's listening, that's like, I hear you, Brad, but
Yeah, absolutely. Men and women.
yes, straight
Yeah,
up.
for men and women. If you're trying to find your purpose, cool. The best way to do it is go be by yourself.
Okay.
And if people think it's some crazy thing, oh, you got to go to the lakes of Minnetonka and drink from this fountain
I'm
of it.
done with
No,
you.
no. What you need to do is you need to get away from all your friends and possibly some of your family, and you need to be by yourself. See, I figured out what my passion was, and I figured out that my passion was like my true purpose when I had some time to myself,
Yeah.
when I hit rock bottom, when I was tired of being the man that I was. Like when I would look in the mirror and I didn't like the person that was looking back at me. Like it was crazy because on the outside people would look at me and be like, "Oh, Brad, he's athletic, he's in shape, and he's working, he does this and that, and he graduated from school and he beat the odds because he was a special ed kid and got 2 degrees and this and that." But there was an emptiness inside of me,
Yeah.
and I couldn't figure out what it was or why I just couldn't seem to be happy. Like I was dealing with a form of depression.
Yep.
Like
Absolutely.
I was dealing with a form of depression because it was like, yo, nothing is wrong. Like I'm eating, I'm sleeping, I have a job. My life isn't terrible. No one's treating me bad, but for whatever reason, there's this emptiness inside of me, and that's why I believe, like that saying of there's seasons.
Yep.
In your life, that was a season where I needed to figure out what my purpose was, and if I ignored it, I would still be dealing with the same issue right now. But because I took the time to say, yo, I'm not going to any parties. I'm not going out with nobody nowhere. I'm not hanging with no females. I don't need none of that energy around me. I'm not drinking. I'm not doing none of that stuff. I need to be by myself. Like I just want to be left alone. And when you are by yourself and you're able to think and kind of meditate and pray and do whatever it is that you need to do and reconnect with the creator, there's something that is unlocked in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit that you can't get when you're around people in the club. That you just can't get it there. That's not the environment for it. Like sometimes you just got to sit on your bed or sit on the floor and turn the TV off and maybe even turn the lights off and just sit there and just get in your thoughts. And even in those situations, what you'll realize is that the relationships that you have, all right, some of these are toxic. I got to let some of this go. Like, yeah, I'm telling these people that I'm dealing with this issue, and the best solution that you can think of is let's go to the bar and get some shots. Bruh.
Right.
How is that going to help me? Me waking up with a hangover, that's not helping me fix this because the problem is still there.
Facts.
Yo, bro, I'm dealing with depression. I don't get like my heart broken, bro. I can't stop thinking about this girl and I don't know how to fix it. And this is that. Yo, bro, I know what we should do. What's that? What should we do? How can we fix this? Let's go to the club and get you some new girls. All right, bro.
Right. And that's the issue, right? A lot of people be bouncing from one to the next, and the rebound is real, right? So like people will rebound real quick to think that like, okay, if I just replace this vice, this thing with something else, okay, I'm cured.
Right.
And that ain't even how it goes down, right? That ain't even how it works at all. And I like to look at purpose and trying to put everything together as like, find out what you're willing to sacrifice for, right? Like, what
Right.
is that thing that come hell and high water, I can't go back. This is my thing. This is where I'm going. I stand firmly on this ground. And I think that when you start to really tap into that, I don't feel like, and sometimes you find your purpose in your past, in the past things that you've gone through, in the past relationships that you've gone through. You might not even know that person was a part of a season, but it was also for a reason. Right. So I think we got to look at all of that, and you can't blossom on dry soil. Like you're not gonna grow. You're not gonna become who you're supposed to be if you hanging around some dried up soil.
Right.
Like you gotta get around people that's gonna water you so that you can grow. All right. So Here's a question for you. How did you bounce back from these heartbreaks? Because I've been there with the high school sweetheart and all that. That was actually my first suicide attempt, came right after that breakup, right?
Mm.
So I know the mental things that stuff can do, and especially when you haven't dealt with things in your past. So it was a strong, long time, man, before I could
Mm-hmm.
really bounce back. So like, what is maybe like a gem or two for our ladies and our gentlemen on how can you bounce back from this painful part of your life?
Man, the way that I bounced back from that heartbreak was, um, like I said, taking time to myself when I actually was to myself to the point where like I'm not going on any dates, I'm not drinking, I'm not, doing anything that would be considered negative. I'm not entertaining any females. So that's another thing too. Even if you're not going on dates and having relationships, whatever, if you're still entertaining them, if you're still, you know, chasing after them and stuff like that, bro, that is taking up space in your mind where you need to actually be using that to educate yourself on whatever it is that you want to do with your life, or just to further your education in general,
Mm.
or to go back into to mend some meaningful relationships. I know I took the time to go and talk to my mother and my father and ask them questions about our past to kind of connect the dots and figure things out. Talk to my sister. I One thing that I did that I'm glad I did is that every like all the past relationships that I had, what I did was I actually called all of my exes
Hmm.
out of the blue. I called all my exes at some point and I apologized for everything that I believe that I did wrong, and I did not ask them for an apology for the things that they did wrong.
You must have talked to one of my exes before, because they sure called me out the blue one day.
I guarantee you I did not.
I'm like, what are you calling me for, bro? Like, but
See,
it
but
was just a genuine apology,
yeah.
and it was like, I don't. It doesn't even matter what happened. I know that I did you wrong, and I want to go ahead and say X, Y, and Z. You don't have to forgive me, but I just want to offer this to you. It was weird in the
Hmm.
conversation, and it was just like, but it was something about that closure that was kind of just like, thank you for admitting,
Right,
you
right.
know?
Because the
Yeah.
thing is, you have a hard time with the fact that man, is this person still running around here treating people like this?
Yeah.
You still talking to people like this or whatever? And mind you, that's not for you to feel, to deal with or try to figure out. It's just that, man, you know what? Let me let you know that whatever it is that went on, whether I did something incorrectly or you did something incorrectly, I just want to let you know that I'm human and you're human, and I understand that people make mistakes, and you might not forgive me, and that's okay. You don't have to. Like, that's between you and God. But I'm going to do what I need to do to let you know that I've grown, right?
Yeah.
And I'm in a different situation now. Mind you, all my exes, we don't have strenuous relationships where like we saw each other, it would be a problem.
Right.
None. Like we already left on terms where it was like, okay, it is what it is. But I still wanted to call and let them know that, hey, listen, um, this is just something that was on my mind. I just want you to know that I'm, you know, going through that situation with you, and us going through that situation whenever together, it helped me to grow. It helped me to, like, I don't want you to think that it was in vain. Like, the things that you said, it got through. The things that I said, hopefully it did get through, and it helped you with your next relationship and help you to move forward and be the wife that you are, or be the mother that you are, or whatever the case may be.
That's good. That's good right there. So here I'm thinking, right? And I'm like, okay, there's some men that's listening right now. There's some women that's listening right now. And they're thinking, like, damn, I'm in that season right now. Like,
Hmm.
I just broke up with him. I just broke up with her. Like, I'm right there right now, or it just happened, or I'm about to break up with him or her,
Hmm.
and it pains me to do this, right? So, like, what is some advice that you would give to someone who is dealing with or dealt with this so that they can move forward? Like, just one, like a one liner, some advice.
You want to make sure that you stay away from anyone or anything that is toxic.
Mm.
And the funny thing about that statement is, somebody will hear it and be like, anyone or anything that's toxic, okay. And like,
Right.
but think about it. You know somebody that's toxic. You know the situation the things that are toxic. You know the things that you do that are toxic, and you only do it when you're heartbroken or you're stressed or you're depressed or you're angry. Like if you were in just an even keel state of mind, you wouldn't do some of the things that you're doing. So stay away from those things. Like once you recognize it and you realize it, you have the awareness, then you can start to make changes.
So for that person that's dealing with it right now, so we want them to stay clear of the closing doors. So like just stay away from the negativity and stuff as you go through this process of processing, right?
Hmm.
That's good. That's good. So, first of all, let me just say thank you for laying your heart on the table today and giving us a piece of you so that people can grow from this and
Oh, is that what
learn.
I did?
Yo, you ain't know what you was doing.
Oh,
Ah.
all right, all right.
Well, damn. There you go. You done put yourself on the table, okay? You done gave somebody back a little piece of them, gave them something to ponder upon, and maybe have some people reevaluate their current relationships and what might not be working. And basically, some people just learn that, okay, you know what? I went through that. Let me get through it now and let me grow from it. And I think heartbreaks are hard as hell, man. Like
Yep.
that thing feels like straight up death. Like you grieve
Hmm.
after
Yeah.
a heartbreak, you know? And I think people need to understand that it is okay to grieve during that process. Like those things hurt. Like go through the process of grief if you have to. Like take your moment to cry it out. Talk to a counselor. Some people go through it bad, and I was one of those people. So I really just appreciate you for sharing your gems, your nuggets, your story with the people. But I would be remiss if I do not allow you to tell the people what you got coming up. How can they get in touch with you? Like tell us something. Tell us something.
Yeah, well, we're toward the end of the fiscal year as far as school goes. So, most of my school speaking engagements, it's all graduations. So that's that. And the easiest way to get in contact with me, if you want to book me for speaking engagements, events, hosting your parties, whatever the case may be, whatever you need, I got you covered. You could reach me by email at contact@b-radinspires.com. On Instagram, you can find me at b underscore radinspires. And what we got? We got, Facebook, of course. Facebook, the Facebook page is b-rad inspires. And then the last one is YouTube. So YouTube is b-rad inspires.
Whew, thank you so much for just giving of yourself today. Ladies, listen, today he done brought you some stuff. He done gave you some of him. Listen, these men are hurting just like we go through this hurt, okay? Heartbreaks suck. And sometimes we just need to be a lot more cognizant of what that man might have gone through before he got to you. You don't know what war he went to or went through. So you need to look at the overall picture and understand that heartbreak is not just for us. They go through it too. These men need us too. They need that help to bounce back. They need us to be kind and speak kind and understanding. And communication is keys to the kingdom. So before you go out here busting some windows out the car and letting your emotions take over the entire process, look at what you have gone through. Sit with yourself. Understand your hurt. Acknowledge your hurt because your hurt matters and it is important. But I want to leave you with this quote by H.C. Pay. I'd rather love 1,000,000 times and have my heart broken every time than hold a permanently empty heart forever. I hope this episode reaches you where you are, and I cannot wait to see you on the next episode. So until next time, don't forget to take the journey that others won't take so that you can live the life that you truly say that you want. You know it's time.
Recrown.